1, 2, 3.
Hello, everyone. This is Kyle Galaz with Poor2Pro Car Sales Training Podcast. Become a sales titan. We are in season 7. This is episode 5, Mastering Sales Through Product Knowledge and Fun. I really look forward to this episode. I get to go over some stuff I used to do on the sales floor, dating all the way back to 2005, and stuff I used to do with other salespeople to keep us sharp, to keep us on top of our game, and to become the best of the best in the business and become number one at the dealership. And I've heard other trainers out there talking about product knowledge is not that necessary. You can still make a lot of money without it. This is true. But if you want to truly get to be the best of the best, you need to mix it all together. And you also have to put yourself in the customer's shoes of, I want to work with somebody that knows what they're talking about, that isn't just trying to sell me. Yes, our job is to sell cars, but isn't it rewarding when a customer comes to you and you have all the right information they need to buy a car? You have less heat cases when you know your product and you're selling them the right vehicle. You have more repeat and referrals because they want to send their friends and family to someone that knows what they're talking about. And this is you. Product knowledge is part of your sales game, your sales career, and we have to get really good at it to separate ourselves from the average salesperson that doesn't know their product. Now, are there some anomalies out there? Are there some salespeople out there that have no product knowledge and still sell a ton of cars? Yes, they are. They are out there, and you might know one or two of them. They're like they don't know anything about cars, but they sell a tremendous amount of vehicles. Let the anomalies be the anomalies, okay? There's going to be a certain amount of people that you just can't figure out. But if you're not an anomaly, then you need to get your every single tool in your belt to become to get to the next level in car sales. So if you're not the anomaly, then you're going to need every tool in your belt possible to get to that 20, 25 cars a month or more, to become that sales titan. So this is what the episode is about: making product knowledge fun. There's a lot of different angles to product knowledge, and a lot of people do their certification trainings, but nothing really sticks. The stuff I'm going to teach you in this episode is going to help information stick. So when you do get a customer, you know what you're talking about. So season 7, episode 5. First, I want to say thank you to Lewis Bass. He sent $100 donation, and he's going to get his name shouted out twice this episode and the next one, and his to his Facebook or Instagram. I put out a little reel to help support the podcast, and Lewis stepped right up and said, "Dude, your training is excellent, and I really appreciate the support, Lewis." And his link will be in the description. Follow him. These are people that you want in your circle. These are people that you want around you, people that are like-minded, that want to get to the next level of car sales. So make sure you follow Lewis. Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. If anyone else wants their name shouted out, make sure you go onto my Instagram, and my link to my Cash App is in there. I'll have the links here, and you can see what versions of donations will get you shout outs. And if you want to be part of the podcast forever and ever, there's a $500 level that you get your name permanently part of the podcast every episode from now until the end. So appreciate your guys' support. All right, let's get into this episode: mastering sales through product knowledge and fun. So let me date back to 2005 when I started working at the Ford store, and I wanted to get to the next level in my career. I didn't want to be average anymore. The first Ford store I worked at from 2003 to late 2004, I was average. The product, I did my best, but I didn't really dive deep into the product. Well, when I got hired at the next Ford store in Bakersfield, I decided I want to get really good at product. I want to be the best at the dealership, and I want to do the best walkarounds, and I want to be able to present vehicles to my customers and know what I'm talking about, know my product. Because product, if you know your product, then you're going to have confidence in selling your product. If you don't know your product, you have no confidence. Customers will stump you left and right. But if you can truly have product knowledge, that will convert to confidence. When you have confidence, that becomes convincing. And when you're convincing, that sells cars. So the tree roots of your career at your dealership, especially if you sell new vehicles, is your product knowledge. Separate yourself from the competition immediately by just getting your product knowledge. So here are some things I used to do. One of them was I made it a game. At my dealership, there was a couple salespeople that were like-minded like me. They enjoyed product knowledge. So I tried to put myself around them as much as I possibly could. And when it was slow on the lot and my leads were caught up, I can't make any more phone calls. I don't know what else to do. Well, how about we dig deep in product knowledge? And so we had golf carts at our dealership and we would drive around the car lots and look at all the inventory. So we started playing a couple games. One of them was name that color. And this will date me, but Ford had Toreador Red. They had Smokestone F-150s. They had a natural neutral on the Ford Focus. I can still remember some of these colors because they just stuck in my brain and because we always practice it. So we'd pull up to a vehicle without looking at the MSRP or anything. We'd say, what color is that? Name the color. And one of us would answer, okay, that's Toreador Red. Oh, no, you're wrong. It's Fire Red or whatever the other color was. But playing games like that, it helped remember it helps stick in my brain. Yes, it's just a color, but isn't it nice when you at least know the name of the color of the vehicle you're looking at? Yeah, it's something simple, but it's nice when a customer says, "Yeah, I'm looking at that red. I can't figure it out." I'm like, "Well, is it Toreador red, the kind of the metallic-y, darker red, or is it the fire red, the fire engine red?" Oh, no, it's the Toreador. Okay, there you go. You built some credibility with your customers just in the name of the color. If you can get good at just the name of the colors, the customer is going to realize, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. He knows the color. And then we play a game when we drive around and say, name that MSRP, and we would see how close can we get based off looking at the vehicle, how close can we get to what the MSRP was without looking at it? And a lot of times, after we did this enough, we would get within that MSRP within $1,000, sometimes within $500, sometimes within $100. It was hard to get exactly, unless you just sold one just like it and you happen to know it was 32,050 or something crazy. But knowing those MSRPs, we made it a game. Name the price of that. What's the MSRP say? Oh, it's 33,982. And you go look, oh my gosh, it's 33,400. Great job within $400 or $500. But think about what that does to a customer when they say, hey, I'm looking at this SUV. I'm trying to stay in that low 30s. And you already know, okay, that one's 31, that one's 33, that one's 39. Well, I like that one. Okay, I totally get you like it, but that you said you want to be low 30s, that one's 39. Okay, so just knowing MSRPs when we played this game helped me on the car lot by knowing what I'm looking at. Now, how can you tell that it's 32 and not 39? Well, let's look at the vehicle. Does it have the bigger premium wheels? Does it have the base model 17 or 18's alloys? Does it have the color matched trim around the whole vehicle, or is it that gray plastic? Right? Those little things you start getting good at and realizing, okay, this does have the bigger tow mirrors. I can already see it has a 360 camera by the tailgate because it has two cameras there. Those are the little things that help you guide your customer to the right vehicle. And if you can make it a game with a like-minded salesperson, then you can bounce stuff off each other. He can stump you, you can try to stump them, and then eventually you guys can't stump each other at all. Or you girls out there, you can't stump each other because you guys know your product so well based on just the way it looks. Okay, so we would guess MSRPs, we would guess the name of the colors, and then we started trying, as we got a little bit better at this, we started trying to guess what trim it was based on, we wouldn't get close enough to see if it said XLT on the F-150 or FX4. We would go at a distance and look at it from a distance and say, what trim is that? Oh, that's an FX4. How can you tell? Right? It's got the different wheel package. It has color match bumpers. It has that particular grill on it that the FX4s came with. Oh, it is an FX4. Oh, wait, that's an STX with the exterior sport package. So it has the same grill as an FX4 and it has color match bumpers, but how can you tell it's an STX versus the FX4? Oh, because it has the smaller wheels. Like you get so good at learning your product that when a customer comes in and says, "Hey, I'm looking for a white F-150 with the STX package with the color match bumpers." Oh, yeah, it's right there. Well, how can you tell it's an STX? Oh, by the wheel. Well, what about the FX4? Yeah, it's right over there. It's a gray one. It still has the same color matched, but if you notice the wheels are a 19 or a 20 or whatever the size wheel is that you have on that vehicle, those little things Build that confidence to be convincing. And if you can show a customer that you know your product inside and out, then they're more often not want to spend money with you. I want to spend my money personally with the professional. So this is what your customers think, okay? So make it a game. What other games can you play? Guess the MSRP, guess the trim, guess the color, guess the engine. Can you tell what kind of engine is in that vehicle based on the exhaust pipe? If it's a diesel, you should know. If it's a gas, you should know. If it's a little diesel, 3 liter or something, you should know by something. Something has to tell you by that exhaust pipe it's a diesel. We know diesels, they're big, they got those vents sometimes. Sometimes they have two on the Fords. There's lots of things to tell if it's a gas or diesel. But those little things when they say, "Hey, I'm looking for a diesel," and you have to walk up to every truck and look at the badge. Oh, no, let me see. Oh, yeah. Oh, the MSRP says diesel. How about based on the exhaust pipe? That is a professional. How about by walking around the front or walking around the side and you see the different hood? Those are the little things. How can you tell it's a diesel? Secret of the pros, right? You're having fun with your customers, but make it a game with somebody that is like-minded with you. Remember, surround yourself with people at your dealership that want to go to the next level. Don't surround yourself with the complainers. Don't surround yourself with the people that are looking for another job. Surround yourself with people that want to do what you're doing, and that's get to that next level of sales. Okay, make it a competition. So you can do this, get a piece of paper out. If it's slow on the lot and you want to fill your time with something productive, make it a competition. Put your name, put the other salesperson's name on the top of the paper and have a scorecard. Okay, first one to 10 questions right, gets an energy drink or something. Have a small wager. We used to bet something out of the vending machine. It was $1 for a Coke or whatever. But the competition, if you notice, when there's competition, you get better. If you are a racer, a triathlete, or a MMA guy, or a boxer, think about the sports you're good at, and you never have competition and you never spar. Are you going to get that good at fighting? Are you going to get that good at running? Are you going to get that good at racing? No, because you don't have someone to push you. You don't have someone to push you. So competition is really good when trying to get better with product knowledge. Yes, we're twisting it a little bit. Kyle, oh, I don't want to play games at work. Well, what you got to do is figure out what makes the product knowledge stick in your brain. Because I know personally when I did all my certifications, all right, I got certified, boss, I'm good. I didn't retain anything because it takes me back to school when school was boring and I'm just reading stuff and there's, nothing good going on. Um, that's the kind of stuff that you want to. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call over here. I don't even know what phone it is. I guess there's a phone in my office. Anyway, let's keep going. Um, but when I do those studies online, it takes me back to school, and I couldn't stand school. So I had to figure out a new way to get better at product knowledge, and that was making it fun by having competition, by playing different games, and doing that kind of stuff. And I have it on my notes right here. I want to bring it up again. Find and you surround yourself with like-minded people. Here's another thing I used to do when I was coming up. I looked up to my sales managers and I didn't know their extent of product knowledge. I didn't know how good they were at walkarounds until later when I, surpassed their skill by tenfold eventually. But at that point, I was fairly new in the car business. So I would bounce things off my manager. Hey, can I do a walk around for you? And, and I'd do a walk around for them. And what really helped me is I volunteered every time for walk around competitions because I wanted to see how good I was at the dealership. And walk around competitions at your dealership level or at a national level or a regional level are really good for you. Whether you win or lose, it makes you study. It makes you get good. People are like, "Oh, Kyle always does the walkarounds. Kyle always does." Well, yeah, because I'm trying to get better in myself. I want to go to that next level. So if you have a walk around competition at your dealership and they ask for volunteers, raise your hand, do something different, try something out that puts you out of your comfort zone. And I promise you, you will rise to the occasion. You will learn more things about that vehicle. You'll learn how to present that vehicle like you've never done before because you're amongst your peers. Now, I've heard salespeople say this in walkarounds. I can't do that good in front of my peers, but I do great in front of customers. Do you want to know why that is? Because you can't BS your peers. They know the horsepower, they know the torque, they know how it drives, they know the suspension, they know all that. The customer doesn't. So the reason why you can do a smoking awesome walk around in front of your customer, for the most part, not all of you, is because you can get away with a lot. And the customer doesn't even realize it's happening. The customer doesn't know you're wrong. The customer doesn't realize that the horsepower you said is wrong, right? They're just going along with you because you sound confident. Whereas your peers, the reason why you're not doing good walkarounds in front of your peers is because they will hold you accountable. Your boss will say, nah, wrong. Nah, you got that wrong because you didn't actually study properly. So anytime you have the ability to do a walk around competition, raise your hand and do it. It will take you to the next level and do it as often as possible. And if you don't, if your dealership doesn't have walk around competitions, that's okay. Grab your manager and have him critique you. Tell me what I did good. Tell me what I did bad. And try to work on your craft because if you plan on being in this car business a long time and you want to go to that 100K, 150, 200K a year, you got to do the right stuff to get there. It doesn't just happen by luck. You have to make it happen by getting better in all these different crafts. Okay. Have someone ask you product questions. Here's what you could do with someone at your dealership. Have them grab a brochure of, let's start with your favorite vehicle at the dealership, the vehicle you know the most at your dealership. Have them grab a brochure and open page one and ask you questions like they're a customer with that brochure. Yeah, I'm really interested in this vehicle. What's the horsepower on it? Well, if you get this particular engine, it's going to have this horsepower. If you have this particular engine, you're going to have the upgraded horsepower, which is this. And your guy over here with the brochure will be like, boom, good job. What's the torque? Oh, shoot, I knew you were going to ask me that. Let me dig deep. Oh, it has 306 foot-pounds of torque. In this engine, it has 380 on this one. Oh, you got it wrong. Dang it, I knew it was 350. Okay, yeah, yeah, you got it. So quizzes in that brochure. Open that brochure, have someone quiz you and start getting better. Eventually, you're going to know all the stuff in the brochure. And you should know the stuff in the brochure because customers know the stuff in the brochure because they go to the dealership. Oh, let me open the brochure. Oh, yeah. And they see that it has 320 horsepower and 380 foot-pounds of torque. And you go out there, they put it down. You tell them it has 400 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque when they just read it didn't. And now you've lost all credibility because you're just making stuff up. You got to know your stuff if you want to go to the next level, okay? Here's another one. Test drive your vehicles without customers. If you're not doing anything and you've done all your stuff and you're caught up, go drive your vehicles because they change constantly. Your vehicles are getting updated from your manufacturers all the time, even if it's just a software update or some sort of recall that came out that fixed an issue. Go drive it. Go see what your vehicles are like. Us salespeople, after we're new, we've worked in the business a long time. We stopped taking test drives by ourselves. But when we first got hired, boss said, "Hey, go drive these vehicles, get very familiar with them." Well, we stopped doing that, and sometimes that refresher can really help because guess what? Manufacturers change their vehicles typically every 3 to 5 years. So every year, something new is getting updated at your dealership. They don't do it all at once. Every vehicle gets an update this year. Every vehicle in this year. No, it's always alternating. Oh, the F-150 this year. Oh, the Ford whatever this year. So you got to always keep up, but make sure you drive your vehicles because there's different versions of product knowledge. Here's some of the versions of product knowledge. One, the stats, what it can tow, what it can hold in the bed, what horsepower, what torque, how many seats does it have, what's the leg room, what's the headroom, what's the shoulder room, what's the stereo, how many speakers, how many watts, right? Does it have nav? Does it have Bluetooth? Does it have Apple CarPlay? Does it have Android Auto? Does it have heated and cooled? Does it have a heating steering wheel? Does it have adaptive cruise? Does it have lane keep assist? Does it have parallel park, self parallel park? Does it have these things? That's step one of product knowledge, knowing what your vehicle has in that vehicle, each particular vehicle. The second part of product knowledge is how does the vehicle drive? How does the vehicle feel? How does the vehicle react? How does the vehicle feel in rain? How does the vehicle feel in freeway speeds? How does it feel in parking lots? How does it feel over speed bumps? How does it feel on mud? How does it feel on snow? How does it feel off road? That's another segment of product knowledge that you should know. So if you have some dirt roads in your town, you have some long driveways that are, go up some country road. Go take a vehicle out on there and see how it handles so you can translate that to the customer. The thing about this vehicle, Mr. Customer, is it's buttery smooth on a highway. You go in, it's like you can't even tell you're driving. It's like floating on a cloud. But when you take it off road, this is where a lot of the vehicles in this segment struggle. You take it off road and this thing feels like a tank. There's no suspension's not working right. There's creaks and rattles. I challenge you for us to go on this test drive and you find a dirt road that you might know and test it out. Okay, pause. First of all, your customer's never been on a test drive on a dirt road. Yes, you don't want to go heavy off-roading because you don't want to jack the vehicle up, but do something different than the competition does because your real competition is the other sales guy over across the street doing the next level that you're not doing. So you have to rise up. So knowing how your vehicle feels, sounds, reacts, adjusts itself on the freeway, all these little things, if it has adaptive cruise or something, that's the second part of knowledge. So what it has, how it feels, and then the third one that a lot of salespeople forget is the maintenance side of it. The benefit to our vehicle versus the competition is you only have to do oil changes once a year or 10,000 miles. And if you look in the maintenance guide, the transmission doesn't have to be serviced for 150,000 miles. That is the life, technically, of a vehicle is 150,000 miles. So you don't have to think about this vehicle transmission for 150,000 miles. It's sealed for life. That's what they call it. The competition at 100K, guess what you have to do? A full transmission service. There's another 2 or 3 grand. So they advertise their vehicle for 1,000 less, but at 100K, you have to put 3,000 more into it. You see how our vehicle has an advantage there, and their vehicle requires you to do the oil change every 7,500 miles. Ours is every 10,000 miles. So you can see the savings there. So product knowledge also can be part of the service. Open a service manual and see what does it need at 10,000 miles? What's it need at 20,000 miles? Mr. Customer, at 30,000 miles is the big first service, right? The competition's big first service at 30,000 miles is between 2 and 3,000. Ours, if you look, which I already priced it out for you, so you don't have to do that, it's 1,200 bucks. So just at 30,000 miles, you're saving money on maintenance. This is why our product is superior. It's cheaper in maintenance. You don't have to do maintenance as often. You're going to get a better ride, better value. And I'm going to show you all of it. I'm not just going to say it. Let me show you. Okay. So product knowledge is what it has, how it feels, what it does, and what about the service? Don't forget about the service because a lot of people forget about the service. Do you want a vehicle that's always nagging at you? It's always got a check engine light on? No, then buy this one because this one doesn't do this. This one's going to bug you every 10,000 miles or once a year. I'm okay with an awkward phone call once a year from a random relative, but not every 3 months. That's what this vehicle brings you, right? Put it in perspective. But in the end of product knowledge, there's so many different ways to get good at it. Find something that works for you. Mine was visual. Mine was on the lot. Mine was competition. Mine was having fun. Mine was putting my hands on it because I couldn't retain those certification trainings. I only did the certification trainings to make the managers happy and to appease the factory, right? Nothing was retained other than 110 years ago, the manufacturer started with the brothers. Like, come on. I need more than that. And the only way you can get that is by actually putting your hands on it. If you're like me, we're visual learners. If you're like me, we're interactive learners. If you're like me, our attention span doesn't compute to a 30-minute certification on there and I get a little printout. No, I need the real stuff. I need to be on the floor. I need sales trainers from the manufacturers that know what the heck they're talking about. They're not just repeating my certification on a spreadsheet or a whatever that thing's called, PowerPoint. And you know what I'm talking about, those trainers that come from the manufacturer and they think they're better than everybody and they still don't know anything more than what you know based on the certification. Real knowledge comes from real stuff. And real stuff is getting your hands dirty, getting out there and touching and feeling and trying and listening and doing stuff with your product. Get familiar with your product and you'll notice your confidence goes up. When your confidence goes up, you're more convincing. When you're more convincing, you sell more. And remember, back to the beginning, put yourself in your customer's shoes. Yeah, we're taking a look at your vehicles and we're not really comparing. We know we want to look at your vehicle. We saw it online and we're very interested in. Okay, well, my name is Kyle. First and foremost, thank you guys for coming in. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I actually have one right here in the showroom. Let me take you in. And I'm going to give these guys a lesson on product because they haven't been studying and I have, Mr. Customer. You mind if I give you a nice product presentation, a beautiful walk around? I thought so. All right. So this is it. Boom, boom, boom. This is the color. Da, da, da. This is the horsepower and torque. What exactly are you going to be using it for? Okay, it's a family vehicle. Are you going to be using it for work at all? Nope, just completely personal. Now, do you have any kids that are going to be going in it? Oh, excellent. How many kids you got? Well, congrats. How old's the oldest? Oh my goodness. Yeah, they grow up so fast. Well, you'll be glad to know that little Johnny, who's 6'3" at 9 years old, will fit in the second row and the third row, right? We're having fun there and we're asking questions and we're being interactive and we're going to know our product so you can put on that proper product presentation and kill it. You got to go in there and kill it each and every day. I don't have any more notes. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Kyle Galaz here with Poor2Pro. It's been a great journey, and I'm going to keep doing this until I can't no more, until my heart stops. I really enjoy the feedback that you guys all give me, you girls, sales girls out there from across the world. When I hear stuff like, I've listened to your podcast for a few months and now I'm number one at the dealership, or I sold like my last one-on-one, Tara, she sold 7 cars in 8 days after she listened to a particular episode about selling a car every day. Make it a point to sell a car every day. 7 cars in 8 days after that particular episode. And I got to do a one-on-one with Tara, and I'm very proud of her for first getting in the car business after so much previous business knowledge. She wanted to try the car business. She's starting to like it a lot, but she needs some help. And if you want to book a one-on-one, season 8 is filling up quick. There's a few more slots. If you want to be part of season 8, message me. Let's get you a one-on-one training session. You get to pick 3 or 4 topics. I'll put together the game plan and get you to work. You got to invest in yourself because no one's going to do it for you. I promise you that. They're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to invest for you. They're not going to make you more knowledgeable. You got to do it yourself. Take the leap of faith, invest in yourself, book a one-on-one. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Kyle Galaz signing out.